Okay, hello everybody. This is Nick Beat yet again for another episode of nickbeathowl.com, and we're in conjunction with CIUT Radio 89.5 FM. We're here tonight at the Smiling Buddha for Fascination Street, and we actually have another one of the performers here, Mindy St. Amand. And Mindy, welcome to Howl Radio.
Thank you.
And it's good to have you here. Mindy, I got to ask you, what's the reason why you're a poet? What does it do for you?
It's sort of a therapy to deal with everything unknown going on in life, to kind of cope and deal and write about it, and just deal with things that are happening as a reality.
Okay. So in other words, is the poetry you write cathartic for you in any way?
Definitely.
It is?
It is.
So you didn't have it, what would happen? Rampage?
I don't know. I'm not sure what would happen. I think it could be dangerous, to be honest with you. Without a voice, silent all the time, and it could lead to anger and depression and sadness.
Okay. Do you have something for us that you could read and perform?
I do not. Not at the moment.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Well, we'll do a cut and then we'll come back. Do you have something you could bring to read?
Right now?
Yeah. Do you have anything?
I gave my sheet away.
You give your what?
I gave my sheet away.
Sheet away. Oh.
My sheet of poems that I'm reading tonight, I gave it away.
Oh. Well, that's very generous.
I know, that's what I do. After every performance, I give away my sheet.
Really? You give away the poems that you've just performed?
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
So the person that I chose to give it to, let them know that their presence meant a lot to me that night.
And Mitch
So who did you give it to?
My girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
E-okay.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What do you think about Pride Week? This is Nick Beat on nickbeathowl.com in conjunction with CIUT Radio and 9.5. Continuing our interview with Mindy St. Amand, who is a poet and writer. Mindy doesn't have her poetry here to actually read. She actually gives it to what's the basis for you to give your poems to after your performance? Why do you give it to whoever it is?
I give my poetry away that night to someone whose presence meant a lot to me that evening. It really stuck out. Sometimes it's a random person, sometimes it's a friend or a relative, and tonight I gave the sheet of poetry to my girlfriend because her presence meant a lot to me tonight. So.
Mindy, I was asking you previous to this question about Pride Week. Does it mean anything?
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Why?
I just don't identify with it. I love who I love, and I just don't feel the need to express it in a pride parade sort of atmosphere.
Okay.
That's just the way it is.
Okay, that's very interesting. I find that interesting.
Yeah.
Your poetry, as far as vis-a-vis your family, do they care? Are they alienated by it?
My family?
Yeah.
They know about my poetry. Actually, my dad is the one who told me when I was 11 that I should write more poetry because it's a good tool to express myself.
Wow.
Yeah, so my parents read my poetry. They may not understand it all the time, but they're definitely supporters.
So they are supportive.
They are supportive, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they know that I tend to take what I see and what I feel in life and deliver it in a different way for other people to understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
The subject matter of your poems. Has it got a wide range? Is it a lifestyle specific? How much range subject matter do you deal with?
Other people's lives inspire me. My life inspires me, and of course, the life that we tend to think is happening inspires me.
Okay.
And I just put it all together into emotions and to imagery of what I'm feeling and seeing at the time. The lines come to me sometimes when I'm trying to sleep, and sometimes they come to me right in the morning when I'm wide awake.
Really? They don't come at night? Because that's when I usually write.
When I'm trying to sleep, yeah, sometimes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes when I'm wide awake in the morning, they come with a cup of coffee, and when it's there, I write it down and I document it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have Mindy on at another time for Howl to actually read some of her work. As she said earlier, she sort of gives it to whoever has most meaning for her at the end of her performance. This is Nick Beat on nickbeathowl.com. We're talking to artist and poet Mindy St. Amand, and hope you're enjoying the show. Mindy, the community of artists, it's not big in Toronto. I mean, it's a big city.
Yeah.
But it isn't that big.
I know, yeah.
Does that bother you? Do you want to be famous?
I mean, I've always thought I was going to be famous, and it is something that I still feel is possible.
Okay.
But I'm not striving for that.
Okay.
And I wish the community of art and poetry was bigger in Toronto. But it is hard to find people who are willing to take a night off of their lives, come here and express themselves openly, and be proud of like what they're expressing. Do you know what I mean?
But why do you think that is?
I think money and image have a lot to do with why people don't come out and actually express themselves.
Image? How is image part of that? That's interesting.
Man, television. I mean, people are constantly afraid of who they really are. And that goes back to sexuality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It goes back to, letting yourself be sensitive, letting yourself open to criticism for being sensitive.
Okay.
And I think that's something that men actually struggle with.
Mindy, thanks so much for being on nickbeat.house. You're having a hard time breaking up here. It's okay, I have a hard time too.
Yeah.
Thanks again to Mindy St. Amand for being on another episode of nickbeathowl.com in conjunction with CIUT 89.5 FM. We'll be back with more of nickbeathowl.com.